stay will naturally affect them. I think
just focuses on the social issues and environmental impacts.
How many people, not only young people, how many people even here in Zambia are
And just earlier on today, I was actually on 20 traffic.
You study and constitution for care of the just in the
choice. We are really young people to have a stay will naturally affect them. I think
just focuses on the social issues and environmental impacts.
how many people, not only young people.
Well, a lovely afternoon to you. If you've just joined us, this is Our Perspective, and my name is Namkola Msonde. Today we have a lot in store for you, and mostly we're looking at the youth in politics. So despite making up more than half of the population in Zambia, young people often find themselves marginalized from mainstream politics and decision-making. They struggle to gain the respect of public officials and are seen as lacking the skills and experience to engage in political activities and lead positive change in their communities. This exclusion combined with limited education and economic opportunities has left young people both idle and frustrated, ladders escorting the old people to their political office. On today's edition of Our Perspective, we feature young people who have decided to move out of the shell and to participate in politics, active politics. So we are joined today by Lazarus Simkoko, who is a Democratic Party Lusaka Province trustee, and Samuel Kabungo, who is Lukasha aspiring candidate. Welcome to the show, gentlemen.
Thank you very much.
Okay, so we're looking at youth in politics. What is your take on youth participation in politics?
Basically, first and foremost, we want to thank you for this opportunity once again for being here.
Okay, well,
and the first thing that we need to look at when we are talking about youth in politics, we need to understand who a youth is. And then from there, we'll be able to discuss things that are supposed to be involved within the youth participation in politics. First and foremost, youth in politics, when you talk about a youth is someone who is between the age of 15 and 35, with the two ages inclusive. So now, the main point here as to why youth, mainly we are able to see that in parliament we have less than 1.2% representation of MPs who are youth there. So now we have got problems that have been going on there. Of course, when we talk about youth involvement in politics, there are certain policies that have been involved in the Zambian, in Zambia, of course, which talks about the youth themselves. So now we look at the policies themselves. So first and foremost, you have got the Constitution of Zambia. Under Article 10, subsection 1 to subsection 4, it talks about the youth participating in economic and the governance itself. And then you have got also other policies, including the Youth Policy Act. You have got the National Development Council Act. We also have the Employment Act, Education Act. Those are the acts that have been implemented in this country. But of course, we are also going to understand that as we go on in this program, you're going to understand that such kind of things have not yet been put into practice by the people who enacted them, or the people who are supposed to spearhead this kind of acts, and that is why we are here. Okay.
So what would you point at as the main reason why youths are marginalized in this country? Why are they not getting involved in politics?
Thank you very much for giving me a wonderful opportunity to be here. To start with, we are looking at the current situation in Zambia, to be specific. I will start with the parliamentary representation of the young people in politics, in parliament itself.
Just starting with parliament.
Yes, so in parliament, we only have 3 people under the descriptive of a youth between the age of 15 and 35 years. So if we put or we express it into percentage form, we will find that we only have 1.8 out of 100%. 1.8. Now, if we see the total population of the young people, we will find to say we are about 60% of the 18 million people in Zambia. We are 60%. That is 10 point something million.
So we don't have the youth.
We only have 3 voices representing the young people. And looking at the consequences in every situation, the consequence bearer of any situation is the youth. So now we are not represented. And not only that, if we go into the political party structure system, all the political parties in Zambia, I'm here to challenge them. You find very few, if we are about 40 political parties in Zambia, maybe only one political party is having a national chairman, national youth chairman, under the descriptive of the youth.
Okay.
You find that they are giving the old-aged people to run the affairs of the young people. Yet we, the active young people, we are there to take our own affairs.
Okay. So are the youths not having representation in decision-making process in this country?
We should understand the structures of implementing the decision in the nation. The most important sector, we should look at the parliament itself. That's where the laws are made. So if in parliament we don't have the young people, meaning we are not represented in cabinet. It is not mandatory that a cabinet should not have a youth to represent. Even the Minister of Youth itself, I feel it very comfortable if we will have a young person then in the affairs of youth department and sports, because you have the broad understanding of what your fellow young people are doing. If they say, no, we give them because of experience, no, they are not experienced, because what they are going through is not what we are going through currently as the young people. So I feel I better understand what my fellow young people are going through than someone who is not a youth.
Okay. So some people have described politics as a dirty game. Is that the other reason why we don't see the youths participating, and also women are shying away from politics in this country?
I will accept the description of politics as a dead game because of the way it was done previously. Now that we, the young people, like I myself, will jump on the bandwagon, we are changing the face of politics to be a productive sector, to be something that will temper with the developmental agenda of the nation. And we will see the production, we will see the results of it. Okay. So yes, politics was a dead game because the motive and the interest of joining into politics, like
to be enriched.
Yes, I'll try to quote what my mentor once said, Professor Patrice Lumumba of Kenya. He once said to say, if you want to get rich, join African politics, because there you gain resources without working for it anymore. For that fact, it was got to be a dead game. Now that we are joining politics with the interest of moving forward our nation, because we have seen to say there is space, there is a very big gap. We need to fill that gap and develop our own nation, because there is no any Zambia that will be provided for us. The people of Rukasha, there will be no any other Rukasha. It needs a young person to develop the Rukasha. So that's why we are here as the young people now in politics. We are trying to move the agenda going forward. Then on the other side of calling politics as a dead game, if we look at the way people acquire power, they say they are getting power using violence. That's useless. Power is not gotten from the use of force. You can't force someone to respect you. True. We should use the mentality, the brain. That's why you will find that we will have, at the end of the day, we will have the leadership, which knows nothing just because they have power. Now, if we give the power to someone with a brain that is working, then we will see the production.
Okay, not to cut you short. Are we saying other people's brains are not working? The older people, those who...
Let me clarify the point. I'm saying some people, they go into parliament just because they have money, but not because they have that mental productivity of moving the agenda of the nation. That one, I won't go back. It's a fact. Okay. Yes.
Mr. Simkoko, your thoughts on politics being called a dirty game?
Okay, my thought there, it's as a result of, it is called dirty game because, when people have tasted the power, they try by all costs to defend it. And then in the process of doing that, they play dirty. You are able to see currently how the PF government have been conducting themselves. We are able to see when Dr. Chitaru Chilufya went at the High Court there. The guards went with him there. That was not only to support him, but to be able to interrupt the proceedings of the court. Now, you are also going to understand this point to say, if a person who is in a court premise is not feeling comfortable, what about the person who is walking on the street? So now that is also a point that you are able to play. And then you are also going to be able to see that other political parties who are in opposition, they have seen the sufferings of the people. They know what is supposed to be done to the people. But the question that has been there is, those people who are in power are using the dirty which they know that they are playing, and then they are trying by all means to lap away other people want to contest for the same positions. And that is why they try by all means to defend it. I've got a better agenda for this nation. I know, and I'm not in politics because of money, because I know the sufferings of which the young people have gone through, because I have been there. I know how the person who is in Kanyama constituency, who is in Mandev constituency, who is in Munadi constituency, the way they are keeping up with life. I'll just give you one example. I write one example which is here. Under the Education Act, it is able to say all youth are entitled to access education. Now, the question that we are able to ask ourselves is, look at UNZA itself. The government has managed to scrap off the meal allowances. And then, what about the act itself? Why was it there? Why has it been put into action as a directive? So now, you are able to see that the government, they are not doing enough, and they are the ones who are playing the dirty games here. Let us not run away from that fact. Let us look at the Employment Act. The youth are given the mandate to run or to be employed. How many youths in this country are employed? Recently, we are only able to see foreigners getting the jobs. We are able to see foreigners, even if they say no constructions, that is where people are employed. The question that we need to ask ourselves is, those kind of jobs which are given to the people of Zambia or to the youths, what kind of a job is that? Because they are only able to give them, that is casual work. Today you go there, you are going to have a job. Tomorrow you don't have a job, you go back. And then as a result, it has also become very, very difficult for young people to run for governance, because they are lacking money, they are lacking resources. You are also going to believe me to say, for you to campaign effectively to sell your ideas as a young person, you are going to require money or resources in order for you to move around the constituency, in order for you to do whatsoever it takes in order for you to reach where you want to reach, so that you can be able to serve the people of Zambia. And that is why we have managed, as young people, we have managed now to take up the leadership, which other people think it's a dirty game. It's no longer a dirty game. It will only be called a dirty game when dirty people are occupying the same positions. But if we remove the dirty people, it will be called a clean game. And in the way I'm seeing it, I'm able to play clean politics. In the way I'm able to see it, we are able to do great things. And by the way, we also have to understand how the young people are suffering. Currently, the young people are shunning away from governance, of course, in that way, because they are not supported. We have got people who are abusing drugs, young people are doing that. We have got young people who are doing whatsoever it takes, because they are lacking something, they are frustrated. And the only way they can be able to do is having a government which will look up to their interests, which will look up to their own affairs. And in that way, we'll be able to call politics as a clean game.
Okay, so why should it be a big deal that young people should get involved in politics, besides the youth being part of the larger majority in society? What is a big deal? Why should the youth go out there and fight, and not really physically fight, but fight for their right to be a leader, to be in politics, and just change their own communities?
Currently, when we see how things have been moving, you are also going to understand about, despite the youth being the majority, they are less represented. And you are also going to understand that people who are old have got old fashion of leading. So they cannot stand up to the hardships of the youth. And then you are also going to understand that people who are in government, they are not supposed to tell me what my problem is. No, I'm supposed to tell them my problem, and then I'm also supposed to tell them the way they can be able to solve my problem. When they do that, that's when I'll be able to be free. So people or young people should be able to involve themselves in politics, because they know what kind of challenges their fellow youths are facing. They say birds of the same feather flock together. And whenever you are able to understand that scenario, you are also going to be able to understand that a person who is odd, that odd, will not be able to understand the challenges which that young person is facing. And the only way such kind of issues can be brought to book, the only way that which those kind of challenges can be solved, it's by having young people occupying positions. And when they do that, you're going to understand that everything in this country will go to normal. Previously, we never had technology which we have today. Previously, we never had the interest in technology the way we are having today. So old people learning the affairs of this nation, we are also going to be able to understand that they are not going to run it effectively. They don't understand technology at all. And that is why, believe you me, the PF government always say you can't win politics on Facebook or anywhere, because they are old-fashioned. When they are old-fashioned, they cannot be able to run things successfully. So young people need to step up, like I've done it. I'm an example. And also, you have also to understand that people like my president in Democratic Party is also a young person who knows the challenges which the youth are going through, who knows the kind of solutions which young people deserve, who knows what can be done for this nation in order for it to propel.
Okay, but not on the issue of social media. Don't you think, of course, social media can help persuade people to vote, but what about also being on the ground? Are you on the ground instead of just being on social media? Because everybody is on social media, but now...
Oh, I get the point there. I have to bring it to the attention of the people of Zambia that my president was moving from village to village, telling people about the manifesto of the party, telling people about how you can be able to involve youth in parliament, telling people on how certain challenges of this country can be solved. So now it is an issue of balancing there. That is what I'm talking about here. So when you balance both on the ground and social media, you'll be able to run things effectively. I brought the issue of social media because of technology itself. Meaning at that point, many people never had even Facebook pages previously. And then you're also going to understand that many people have realized the importance of social media recently. This has to do with the technology which has been established. And looking at our manifesto itself, when you look at it, technology is the priority. And the only people who can be able to drive this nation forward, you're going to understand that it's the young people. When you go in Denmark, it's the 23-year-old who are ministers of youth. But come to Zambia, you're going to understand that a youth, so those are the people you are talking about. Those are jokes, real jokes. Those people should be able to be serious on how they are running these affairs of this nation. We are not even happy about it. Young people, we have been left behind. We believe that we are supposed to be at the center of development. Look at the citizenship empowerment programs. How are they be able to be running? Look, it was started in the MMD. Have they produced any billionaire? Not anyone. Maybe you know one who can mention out of the youth empowerment. Now, that will tell you how untransparent the government has been. That will tell you how untransparent the old people have been. Because only when they are able to put certain things in order, only when they put youth at the center of this development, you are going to understand that everything will be able to be run effectively. Because they have managed to lift down the youth. Okay. And when they do that, things will be able to run smoothly.
Mr. Samuel, your take on, is it a big deal for youths to be involved in politics, even as they are they're a big majority in this country?
It's a very much big deal for us, the young people, to be in politics. The reason is very much simple. In every any building that you see, the determination is the foundation itself. So if the foundation was not built on the principles of stability and not constructed by someone who was with that mentality of producing something which is very much visible to the people, it won't be attractive to anyone. So if we sideline the young people from politics, who are going to be the leaders of tomorrow? Who is going to be the president of Zambia in the next 20-25 years, in the next 40 years, if we don't have the young people being backed to them? So we feel like the young people, we should be included in this thing, not because we just want to have the fame, the power, and what we have the agenda that we want to champion. If we look at now a old-aged person, it is a fact that they are heading to die. We should not run away from that fact. And whatever they will be doing, they will not be thinking of to save for the future. Because them they are living, they are going anytime sooner than they are going. So they are not thinking about the future. But me, I am assured, any person below 15 years, he is assured that at least life expectancy of 70 years. I cannot destroy where I'm eating from when I know that I have extra 65 years to go. So I will safeguard the little that we have for the benefit of the people, my fellow young people in the age of my age, to say we have a lot of years where we are going. So let us save for the future. Then apart from that, the young people, we should understand at the point where we are. We are moving at the point of technology. And if we want the modern innovative skills to venture into different sectors of development in Zambia, we need the mentality of young people to be on the podium. This time around, there are a lot of things being discovered. We've got a lot of technologies that even my grandma, to operate a phone, they should consult from me, a young person. The same person they are saying is not capable of taking a lead because he's young, but they consult from us. So we feel the young people must be considered. I will cite an example what our President Charles Chanda is doing in UPPZ, United Prosperous and Peaceful Zambia Party. What he's doing is he's empowering the young people. We have got the land police. People are testifying. They are having it at a very cheap price. We've got the investment in mining. They are doing that. So we have a leader, someone who is thinking of the young people, because when you invest in a mine, you'll be getting shares for the rest of your life. You never go broke at any point. So that's what we want. We want people who think for the young people. We the young people, you know what, it pains me a lot when I'm moving in the street and see some of my fellow young people sleeping in the streets without even a simple 70 kwacha bedsheet. It pains me a lot. And I try to think in all means possible to say, who is to be blamed of these things? Who is
responsible for their lives?
This mess in Zambia, please? God help us. Do these people really have hearts, or their hearts are made of stones? Or is there any flesh in them? Because we cannot blame the young people to say, no, they ran away from the orphanage. While they are saying we have the youth empowerment program. Where does it go? Can you give the son of a minister youth empowerment fund and leave someone who is sleeping under the bridge at Manda Yoshua? If we are thinking for the young people, can that thing happen in Zambia? We need people who are willing, intrinsically motivated to read, not because of any motivation apart from saving the Zambians. It pains me a lot, and my area of concern is to uplift that young person. I'm contesting in Lukasha not because only for the Lukasha people, but for the entire youths in Zambia. Believe you me, when I step in parliament, I am going to influence this decision. There will be no any fund that will be allocated to the son of a minister as empowerment. The son of the minister, sure, as a bursary. Someone who is getting more than 150,000 kwacha per month, you give them a bursary when there is someone in Shangobo, in Mufubushi, Mpika, in Rukasha. They don't have not even a coin for a day. But their mental productivity, if we assess their IQ, is more than 90. If we are to train them in any field, we will have a better Zambia in the hands of right people. Sure. So, me, even my motivation of being in politics, I want to uplift those people. When I go into parliament, it's not just the representation of the Lukasha people, but the entire young people will be represented. Believe you me, there will come a point when it will be constitution. Every youth must go to school. If they don't go to school, we should blame the government. We should sue the government. At this point of time, healthy education is not constitutional. Even if you go to the president to say my son is not educated, he can even ask, is he my son? He's not your son.
So don't you think some of the other reasons that this country is where it is right now is because of our constitution? We're going to get there soon, but if you have just joined us, this is Our Perspective, and today we're looking at the youth in politics. You too can participate by calling the number that is rolling at the bottom of the screen. That is 0978-594-682. So give us that call and also give us your perspective on the discussion that we're having with the two gentlemen, Mr. Simkogo and Mr. Is it Kabungo?
Yes, Kabungo.
Great. So now coming to the environment that we're in, do you think it's conducive for the young people to participate in governance? Despite all these, you're not a councillor yet, you're not there yet. Is it possible? Is the environment conducive for our youths?
At this point of time, we've got 100% advantages of taking a lead now. The environment is very much fertile for a young person. You see, the previous two months, we saw the drama which was there, the joke of the days which was happening, where we saw the young people now raising to say, we want this to happen. And within the blink of an eye, in the fraction of seconds, we saw the response coming. And if I was to ask, I want any youth who is not aligned to a certain political party to testify to say, Minister Kabungo, I received part of that 30 something, you remember it?
Yes,
there was a 30 something which was released for us, the young people. I was not part of it. I didn't benefit from it, but I am a young person. So if we were to assess the people who were protesting, they are not even part of the benefits. Other people benefited, the same people within. So we see the young people now are raising against the government. We are not raising against to create enmity. What we want is to create development in the nation, not enmity. Let them love us as much as they can do. But what we are advising them is bring us into leadership. Okay. We want to show you how to do certain things. Yes.
Okay. So, Mr. Simkoko, your take on the environment, is it conducive for the youth to participate in politics?
The environment, it's always conducive provided you are aggressive, provided you are able to fight every barrier that is on your way. And I would like just to clarify certain point from my brother here over where he said when youth protested they promised a 30 million kwacha there. That was only to silence youths. But the only thing that I can be able to say is that was only so that we can be able to stop with our actions. But I am here. I have not stopped with my action. And it has always been said to say every 22nd of every month there will be protests. And believe you me, I'll be able to join that protest if it is there. Okay. If it means it is not there, I'll be able to go to the police to take the permit to say we are protesting on such and such a day. That is what I can only say there. So now, looking at how the environment itself is, the environment is very much conducive for that person who is aggressive, for that person who can be able to come up and of course be able to challenge the odd person who is saying no, I'm going to do this, and playing all the debts that they are trying to do. So with courage, everything can be able to be worked out. There is always a saying which says you are who you are today because of a decision you made in the past. We will be who we are going to be in future because of the decision that we are making now. So if we don't stand up for what we think is rightfully ours, of course we are not going to participate, or we are not going to be involved in any of the change that we want to see in this world.
So
no, you can go on. You can go on.
What both of you, I need answers from you. What do you think, or what can be done to ensure that youths participate freely in politics in this country?
I think we have to get rid of the people who are out there. I said it previously, and I have been saying this all along.
Okay, sorry. We have a call. You're through to Our Perspective. Give us your name and where you're calling us from, and also give us your comment or contribution.
Yes, this is Isabel Mwape. I'm calling you from Zambia.
Please go ahead with your contribution.
Yes, my contribution is that first and foremost, I would like to appreciate the people on the panel and the passion that they have for the youth.
Thank you.
My contribution is that I feel our government should give chance to the youth to air their views even in parliament, not only in maybe in our areas, or maybe to our immediate leaders. No, we need to have young leaders in parliament, so that even because young leaders understand what the fellow youth go through, they understand the pain of the youth. But if you look at the people who are already there in government, they are old people. So all they want is maybe to secure their rights, to secure the future of their children. But if a young person can go there, he is able to understand what the fellow young person is going through. I think, yeah, that's why we've got a lot of people, a lot of youth hating nowadays, because we feel we are not being heard. And there's so much selfishness by elderly people. So we need to give chance to the young people, and let us support our fellow young youth.
Okay.
I think that's my contribution.
Thank you so much, Isabel. Okay.
I just want to thank also the caller once again. You know, she's right about what about everything she has said. I think what I was talking about is this: when you want youth to participate freely in governance, I have told this to the public, and I've always been saying this. Come up with a retirement age for every politician.
Indeed.
In categorize, is it a president? Is it an MP? Is it a councillor? When you go at presidential level, you can set a high bar of years. Is it 80 years? Is it 90 years? Is it 85? Is it 70? When you go there, let's go at parliamentary level. At parliamentary level, you are going to observe that young people there will be able to participate, because when the retirement age reaches for that MP who is contesting there, that person will leave, or will have no any chance to leave that office, because his or her age will always keep up. In Parliament, we have got people who started in UNIP, in MMD. They are still there. But provided we had put it constitutional to say any person of this age will be able to retire as a president at this age, as an MP at this age, as a councillor at this age, you are going to observe that you are going to have a high presentation of youths. What people will be looking for is a youth in that constituency with potential to lead them. A youth in that constituency to show them a way. A youth, a young person in this country to lead as a president. And believe you me, looking at almost all the political party, and of course I've not seen them, the president declaring to say they or filing in their nomination to say I'm contesting. But if I can put it on record, our president is the youngest.
Okay.
So now, looking at these people, there are people who are old, who are supposed to be given retirement ages. When they are given, come on, civil servants are given retirement age. They are given retirement age.
Okay.
What is so different between a civil servant and a public servant? If, in case you didn't know, it is you, the boss of those people in offices, because you voted for them, because that other person voted for them. So if their bosses say, okay, the retirement is this and that, if we put it constitutional, I think it will be able to see, or we are going to see young people representing their fellow young people, and they'll be able to lead very much well.
Okay.
But that is not the interest, nevertheless. We know that they are selfish. We know that their main ideology, their main ideology, it's not for the interest of the youth. Because their main ideology is only to serve themselves. And if you observe, they have come up with visions which are far away so that you can't hold them responsible. Let us not go far. Let's go in the African Union. They have come up with African Union Vision 2060. They have come up with African Union Vision 2063. Do you know why? It is because they are aware that by the time it will be 2063, they will be not the one in power.
Yeah,
at that point, there will be no more. I'm not saying that I can't die at my age. Death doesn't choose with the age. But at that point, they will be powerless. They will not be able to learn such kind of offices. So they have come up with such kind of visions. Just on 12th August, we are celebrating the International Youth Day. And I'm so excited about the issues that we have brought up. But the question is, do we have the implementation? Do we have people who can really implement such kind of things that have been put up? Amongst the policies I think I had mentioned earlier, which have been put, it's amongst them, it's the Constitution. It's the National Development Council Act. It is the youth policy. It is the school policy. It is the employment policy. It is the citizenship.
Okay, we should have a call. Yeah. Okay. So, speaking about the political parties that both of you are coming from, is there a deliberate policy that champions youth involvement in politics?
Of course, I think we have that. We have that. Look, when you look at Rwanda and Kenya. When you look at Rwanda and Kenya, you are going to observe that they have been saying to say, in order, or if you are employing any people amongst the people you are going to be employing, 20% have to be youths. If you are choosing any leaders in an organization, 20% have to be youths, and that is part of our manifesto.
In the Democratic Party.
Yes, in the Democratic Party, it is there. Whenever the company has been opened, we'll be able to say this is a policy. Where is the 20% of the youths in here? And when you look at our manifesto again, when it comes to industrialization, I think you have come across it, I think, and you know it. When you talk about industrialization itself, we'll be able to put industries based on the favorable conditions of a certain province. If it is in Western province, there is a lot of sand there. We'll be able to say, okay, this is the sand. We are going to be able to establish an industry to be producing glass there. When we come up with that industry, people will be employed there. Amongst the people will be employed, at least 20% have to be youth. At least people will be leading such kind of an organization or such kind of FM or an industry. The people in leadership have to be youths.
Okay.
That is the deliberate policy that has been put across. Not only that, when you look at the cabinet itself, our national spokesperson, Madam Judith Kabemba, she's young, she's a youth. Look at our president, he's young. Look at me, I'm the Lusaka province trustee. Come on, look at the other trustees of, look at the other trustees in Lusaka who are heading the province. They are old, Bendan and Kondo. That is what you have to be able to understand here. So such itself, it's a deliberate policy, and for me to be featured on our perspective, it is such a great honor.
Okay. So, Mr. Kabungo, what is the policy in UPPZ?
So UPPZ is very much practical. We don't even have to prove a lot of proofs to say this is what. I'll start with the we contested in Chiranga. Who was our candidate? Francis Kope, a youth. We contested in Lusaka for the mayor by-election. Who was a youth? Leo Madariso Piri. Leo Madariso was 25 years, a youth. We contested in Chilubi. Who was our candidate? We contested in we only have the young people. So meaning it is very much practical that the UPPZ, the President Charles Chanda support the young people. I am an aspiring candidate in Lukasha. Where am I? I'm a youth, very young and energetic. So this is very much practical that we've got full support. The young people of Zambia, there is a political party supporting you. Yes. Just support the political party. You have the assurance. Believe you me, if it was we are to be ushered in government, who are going to be the ministers when we see the adoption? The young people. What will be now the production of the country? What will be the results? We have now the mental productivity. This word will not sink in my head. I'll always be mentioning it. We are looking for the mental productivity, nothing else in this nation, because we need now to develop. It's high time Zambia has been looking for people with money to run the affairs of the nation. It's high time. That's why we don't develop. We see the same people coming back just because they get the gratuity after 5 years. Recycled. The same leadership in UNIP is the same leadership today in PF. What they will say is experience. But what we should not forget is the same experience will be taking us to the same back things because the experience is of the ancient. Now we need to bring about the new things, the new normal. You know, even in COVID, there is new normal. So we should also introduce the new normal of politics, where we have people who are thinking of the people of Zambia. Then I would also like to answer the question which you posed to say, what should be done for the young people to be in politics, in governance? It's very much simple. What we should do is we should cite the motivation of the young people. If we see a 21-year-old person in politics, we see 120-year young person in parliament, what will click in someone who is 15 years is to say,
also can
as soon as I reach the year to contest as a member of parliament, I'm going to do it. What you do is the immediate transformation of the nation, because once you transform that person, these other people, the drug abuse, the sexual acts, all sort of things which are condemned in the society, that person will not attempt to do it because there is a focal point of achieving something great in life. So the only thing to me to bring in a lot of young people, I think after the by-election in Lukasha, we will have the transformation of Zambia, because there will be someone the young people will be looking up to say, I want to be like that, because there is a meaningful contribution in parliament which is coming. There is, even in 1 year period, I can assure you there will be something. If Zambia will sense change. So
hopefully to the youths as well, when you're given the opportunity, you will also not overstay like.
I only have 10 years, 2 terms to serve as a member of parliament. After that, I'll give a chance to another youth. I will give a chance to another. It will be very much useless to sideline what I've been advocating for. I've been an advocate for 2 years, speaking for the young people, on behalf of the young people, fighting for the young people participation in politics. Now, if I'll turn to the other side of the coin and say, now that I'm in power, I should not give opportunity to other people. I'll give opportunity to the young person. If it means that I should even use my own personal resources for them, I will surely do that, because what we want is, we want to see the young people in politics. When you are no longer that, please stay away or be part of them, but advising the young people now to go about it. That's what we want.
Okay. So this year there has been growing debate on young people championing Bill 10 because it's believed that it increases the youth in parliament. What is your broad comment on Bill 10? Because we saw protests happening because of the butane. We had so many things going on. There's so much controversy surrounding the butane. Others want it to go through. Others are saying, no, it shouldn't. But on the youth's involvement, in your own opinion, what do you think butane, does it favor the youth's participation in Parliament?
You know, butane must be considered as something, as the entire document. If we are going to
Look
support,
at it in parts.
if we are going to look butane in parts, we'll find ourselves in the troubles that will never even try to move out of it. So, to me, I'm one of the people that does not support butane. Because some lacunas in it. Some lacunas in it.
Yes, you're through to Our Perspective. Give us your name and where you're calling us from.
Okay, I'm Mr. Muina from Katama.
Please go ahead with your contribution, sir.
Yes. It is just a contribution of the vessel.
Okay.
I see the gentlemen on the panel there. They are articulating issues very, very well. But for me, what I would love to see is the youth in Zambia. Maybe before we rush into these political positions here and there, one thing I thought about was to find a way that can help the youth to be empowered economically. We saw some attempts by successive governments where there was a project, one project for citizens' economic empowerment. We also had the youth empowerment fund that was administered by Minister of Youth and Sport. Now, these two projects, we saw those they came with their own challenges. They were not successful, but they were very good programs on paper.
Yes.
So I thought the youth can come together and see what went wrong with these two projects, so that they are worth owning and come back so that the youth can have economic empowerment. I think that is what is important. Those rushing into political positions again, without economic empowerment, it's really very difficult for youth to compete at that level. What we need more especially is the economic empowerment for our youth. When they are empowered economically, it will be very easy for them to penetrate the political area.
Okay.
Then lastly, and what I can just say is I can see the two gentlemen, one from UPPZ is speaking highly of his party that no, they have favored a lot of groups in terms of positions in the party. Equally, the other gentleman from GP is also saying the same about the appointment of groups in the Democratic Party. We saw the same sentiment being echoed by President Lewis Mumba, who is also very much attached to the youth of this country. So, a lot of these political parties which were here at the moment, they are all advocating for youth to take up the mantle. Now, why can't these youth from different political parties come together under the same umbrella and fight for a common goal?
Okay.
I think that's what I wanted to see on this one. What you look at them, they are talking the same language. Why can't they come together?
Okay.
If we divide that towards where are we going? Why can't the youth come together? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, madam.
Thank you, Mr. Muela. Thank you so much for calling. Okay, so you too can give us your own perspective by calling the number 0978599462, and also you can send a message. The number is scrolling at the bottom of your screen. So we have Mr. Kabungo and Mr. Simkoko. Is there, of course, you can't decide on behalf of your presidents. Is there a way of youths coming together and just forging ahead instead of most, like that caller said, you're speaking almost the same language. You all are passionate about the youths in Zambia. You're both energetic. Why can't we have one voice and forge ahead from there?
Okay.
Just to answer his question.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mwira, for your wonderful contributions, and I'm hoping tomorrow we'll be together in Lukasha Kasama. So now, if we look at the young people coming together, it's very much possible. Now, the question that we must ask ourselves is, what does the Constitution of Zambia gives us the description about who should stand as a president? They don't favor a young person to stand as the president. So when we change the Constitution to favor the young people, that's when we have young people, because it will be very much, you know, when we are saying we want the young people to take a lead, they will be saying, who is the president of the same political party, and is your president contesting? You know, they bring a lot. I remember there is one time when a certain member of parliament contested under a certain political party called UDF. They were questioning to say, who is your president, and your president is not taking part, so we cannot trust you. So the Constitution does not support a youth to become a president. You get the point? So it's very much easy to work. And then the other party, the reason why you see like young people, they don't coordinate to work together is because of the way politics was introduced to us. Politics was introduced to us in such a way that if me, I'm coming from UPPZ,
you shouldn't go in
and Lazarus Simkoko is coming from DP, we should not even find ourselves on
sitting on the same panel.
Not even just like this, a bench, because the bench support people sitting on the same on the same platform. So that's how politics was introduced to us. But regardless of political affiliation, you see, there are certain organizations like Youth for Parliament. Youth for Parliament is partisan, but it does not support any political party. For as long as you are a youth coming from different agenda, but you are a youth, you have the agenda of the nation. You come together and think together for the benefit of the nation. So it's not all about the young people coming together, but we should create an atmosphere where the young people from different political parties will be coming together, because at the end of the day, what we want to achieve is a better Zambia, prosperous and peaceful Zambia, the united Zambia. That's what, you know, UPPZ, united, peaceful and prosperous Zambia. That is what we want to achieve and to see in the near future. So the young people, we should be interacting, and it is my call that I think after this COVID arena, after this COVID thing, we the young people from different walks of political parties, we should come together and see how best we can help our fellow young people. So we are not political rivals, or we are not enemies. I should not be attacked for me belonging to UPPZ by my fellow young people coming from a different political party. But they should support me if they see potentiality in me. I should support my fellow young people if there is potentiality in them. So what we are calling for is the united of the young people speak a common voice, because we are fighting for a common Zambia. We want Zambia, a better Zambia for us. So that's my take about it.
As we are concluding, we just have under a few minutes to go. I'd just like both of you to talk about it in a minute, on the issue of councillors, because mostly councillors are youths. They keep resigning and going to the next party. Then we have by-elections, and there's all this changing of camps. What is your take? Under 1 minute. Okay,
from there, allow me to say, in every grouping, under every organization, you expect to have bad people and good people. So now, youths who are resigning and who are
as councillors, mostly
just councillors who are moving from one political party to the other, my take there is, just because that councillor resigned, it shouldn't be generalized that it's the entire youth. No, it shouldn't be able to do that. So now, there are good youths or good councillors, and there are bad councillors. So those bad councillors shouldn't be able to describe or to generalize other youths who are there, or other councillors who have been running.
But then why should people out there trust the youth if they are easily swayed? They're not people out there.
You can trust them. You can trust them because bad people are the ones who are bad youth are the ones who are doing that. But we also have good youths. They have got people who don't even involve themselves in political violence. They are always doing what is right. I think I'm behind with certain sentiments here. I think I need to comment on butane. I think under a minute I'll be done. So on butane, you said to it increase the youth representation in parliament. In the constitution, there is a provision of a president nominating 8 ministers. Those nominated can come from anywhere. Now, why hasn't he chosen the youth? Why hasn't he chosen the disabled? It's because he is not youth oriented. He doesn't care about them. And then when you talk about the caller who said that is Mr. Mwira. Mr. Mwira said, why can't we come together and fight and propel one kind of an ideology? The answer I'm going to give there is under Article 21 of the Zambian Constitution. It talks about, that is Article 21 subsection 1, 2 and 3. It talks about the people of Zambia, the citizens, who are free to choose a certain grouping where they think they belong. It's not about us working together. It's about you working with people who have got the same ideology as yours. It's about you knowing which people can support you to reach where you want to be. And that is why I've chosen to be in Democratic Party, because I know they are giving me free, they are giving me things to come here to say, go and talk on behalf of the youth. Go and do this for the youth. They are able to send me. And for me, that's what I think. That ideology has been propelled to this point. And the only way those things can be done is by, it's not just about the matter of saying, no, come together. It is constitutional. And when something it is constitutional, even in churches, when you talk about churches, allow me, I'll be able to go a bit offside. We worship one God. We worship one God. But why do we have the Jehovah's Witnesses? Why do we have the Pentecostals? Why do we have the Roman Catholics? It's because they have got different ideologies. It's because they are able to worship one God, but we can't be able to say, no, since we are playing one God, let us be able to come together as churches and run things. This is because there will not be any person who is having different views. The Constitution advocates for freedom of speech. Anything that I'll be saying, it is, as long as it's within the Constitution of Zambia, it is my right.
Okay.
So now, describing as to say, my concluding remarks is that first and foremost, I'm very much disappointed by the PF government. You know, there is a video that has gone viral on social media, which is showing a cadre insulting a healthy personnel, insulting a doctor. Come on, we don't play with such kind of professions. We don't play with professions like teaching. We don't play with professions like healthy. This is because those people can make us vulnerable. Those people can be, come on, I'm not a medical practitioner. They can even inject a needle in me which can make me die the same day. But if we give those people time to think, to be free, let them not be attached to politics. They are free people. Let them run on the prospect of their own ideologies. And the PF government has to be condemned. And I think Zema has released a report this morning which was condemning such act. And I believe that person should not be able to go scot-free. That person should be prosecuted.
Okay. Thank you so much. Mr. Kabungo, you're slated to participate in the Lukasha parliamentary by-elections. How does it make you feel as a young person ahead of these elections? And also, what message are you taking to the people of Lukasha? And also, maybe if you can conclude, so we'll be going soon. You know, I'm very much confident about the decision that I've made, because it is not only in Zambia, but internationally, Lukasha, we are going to make history. And you are making history. Yeah. We are making histories, and I'll be the first Zambian to contest a parliamentary election at the age of 21 years. Okay. That's not a joke. It's something which is very much serious. And if you look at my background and what I've been doing, I'm not a joker, and I'm not a comedian. I'm serious about everything that we do it very much smart. And we see results in everything that we do. So I'm assuring the people to say you are sending someone into parliament, not for the sake of just filling the seat, but we are sending the brain into parliament to change the things. Not only Lukasha, but also Zambia will be tempered with some of I will always be using this word. We want high mental productivity in parliament. That's all. That's only we want. Apart from that, what I can only ask from my fellow young people
we need the spirit of solidarity. We need the spirit of supporting each other. It's not time to do jealous for any person. If we see someone is willing to take something, the agenda of the nation, let's support, regardless of the political party where they are coming from. If you see that your political party environment is not comfortable supporting another person, come in the behind the room, behind the curtain. We shall discuss, advise me on what decision I should do. Because at the end of the day, we want to achieve a common goal. So I'm assuring the people to say, let's participate and make this happen together. Okay. Alone, I cannot do it. But with the collective efforts of the young people, we are going to do it, and we shall all majestically at the announcing day. Because we are very much confident that we are carrying the day, regardless of the people, their financial status and whatever they are doing. We are not interested in their money. What we are interested is the mental productivity that we want to produce in the nation. We should produce it, no matter what, no matter how. If they say Rome was not built in the day, but I think in the day we are going to build history this time. Okay. History will be made.
Thank you so much. Well, this has been our perspective, and today we were looking at youth participation in politics. We had Mr. Lazarus Simkoko from the Democratic Party, DP, Lusaka Province Trustee, and Samuel Kabungo, who is Lucasia aspiring candidate under the UPPZ, which is United, Prosperous, and Peaceful Zambia. So this has been our perspective. My name is Namkola Msonda. Join us next week again for another wonderful show. On the dot. Thank you. You guys are amazing.